Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Mobile computing. I'm pleased therefore to introduce Motorola Atrix 4G, the world's most powerful smartphone. It features a dual-core processor which comprises two 1 GHz cores, delivering up to 2 GHz of processing capability. It also features a 1930 milliamp hour battery in a 10.9 millimeter thick form factor, and 1 gigabyte of RAM, which is comparable to PC only a few years ago, and a quarter HD QHD display that delivers crisp, clean video, images, and web browsing. It also features an innovative fingerprint reader that makes unlocking your device faster and more secure. But even with all of these capabilities, even with the world's most powerful smartphone, it still doesn't meet all the needs that I have when I come on a business trip, like say perhaps to CES. We know that most people can get through 80% of the day and using their smartphone. They can check their email, respond to their email, do social networking and some of the websites. But there are still tasks that greatly benefit from a larger screen and a keyboard and a mouse, such as web browsing, document creation, watching HD video. The Motorola Atrix 4G extends the smartphone experience to offer a larger display, keyboard, and mouse experience. To show you more about how we did this, I'd like to welcome Sian Chow to the stage. Come on, Sian. Sian and his team led the development of some of these exciting new applications.
Thank you, Sanjay. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here.
We have created some exciting new experiences with this smartphone, and Motorola Atrix 4G was developed by some very unique software and accessories. And we have designed new Webtop and entertainment applications to specifically address these needs. Motorola's Webtop application is a browser-based desktop, as you would from a PC, but driven entirely from Motorola Atrix 4G smartphone. This is like nothing you've seen before. This design allows us to deliver unprecedented level of integration between your smartphone and your computing environment because it is one and the same thing. Remember, everything you're about to see is driven entirely by Motorola Atrix 4G smartphone. Sian?
Great, thank you. So there's a lot to show here, and we don't have time to go through it all, but please visit the demo bar afterwards, and there are very qualified people to run through all that's available here. So, there we go. So this is the HD dock. This is the entertainment center you're seeing here. It's just the phone in the dock. Here's the dock. It just looks like any of our regular docks, except that it's got 3 USB ports, an HDMI out, and of course charging. So why don't we go ahead. This entertainment center allows you to view all the content that's already stored on your device. So if you take a video or take some pictures, it's immediately available to you on the big screen through an HDMI cable. I'm going to use the phone here as the remote. As you can see, I can go ahead and navigate here. But we also have remote control to allow you to do this. All the content is capable of being displayed at HD. So here's a nice little HD clip that we have. Okay, great. All right, so you can see music, you can play your music, you can see your pictures, and you can play videos. But what about streaming videos? What about the web? What about all those things that standard multimedia centers don't allow you to do? Well, we solved that problem as well. And you got a preview of it this morning, but I'll go ahead and do a much more thorough preview, or thorough review of it. This is the Webtop application, okay? As you can see, here's Android. We'll get back to that later. And this is a full implementation, as you can see here, private browsing, etc., of Mozilla's Firefox version 3.6.13, which is pretty much the newest one you can download at this time.
That's awesome.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead.
Sian, this is full desktop browser. This is not a mobile browser. This is full desktop
This is
browser
not the
running
mobile
on Motorola Atrix 4G, right?
That's correct. So here's the CNN page, right? And again, multiple tabs. So we can do multiple tabs. We can do multiple windows. keep double clicking that, sorry about that.
That's fast.
And so here's more Windows. Let's go. And this does fully integrate Adobe Flash 10.1. So when you go to a website that has Flash, you get the full Flash experience that you would not normally see in most handsets. Again, remember, this is completely driven by the phone. I'll do a demonstration to prove it in a second here. Okay, so let's take a look at this Android. We've got all the status on your Android window is reflected on your desktop, right? Because again, it is your phone that's driving the entire desktop. You can double-click to get to any of these items here. You'll notice when I launch an application, it launches into a tab, just like Firefox, which gives you excellent multitasking capability. There's calculator. So you also have your menu, home, back. Let's go ahead and hit home there, back, search, and rotate. This window is fully resizable and can go full screen as well. So if you wanted a full screen Android experience, for instance, if you wanted to play, I don't know, Angry Birds or something. Oops, misclicked there. If you wanted to play Angry Birds full screen with your mouse and keyboard, you can do that. Okay, so, all right. Again, since this is your phone, we've integrated the telephone functionality, obviously. So why don't we go ahead and call the Venetian. Go to contact information here, scroll down. So you see the numbers are highlighted. I can right click, I can call it, I can save the information to contacts, I can send an SMS. You can go ahead and hit call there, and there's a dialer populating it. Okay, so this is, again, there's a lot more to show. This is just a very brief preview. We knew this was a good solution for our consumers, but we also sat down with some leading CIOs and presented this solution. They felt it was very useful for them because now they only had to manage and upgrade a single device. But that's not all, there's more. That single device, because this is first, you can see this is a desktop, similar to a desktop PC here. But if you wanted to go mobile, we also created this laptop dock. Okay? Laptop dock is 13.9 millimeters thin, stereo speakers. There's where you replace your phone. 11.6 inch, very large display, large touchpad, large keyboard there, and 36 watt-hour battery for up to 8 hours of battery life, because there is no fan, there's no storage, there's no processing in here. Everything is actually run from the phone. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and, so remember what's showing on the screen now. I'm going to take it off, we're going to put it in here, and there's not even a power switch. The moment you dock your phone, it comes on, shows the Motorola logo, launches Webtop, and bam, you're exactly where you were on your desktop. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Sian. This is truly impressive how Webtop and our new accessories unleash the power of Motorola Atrix 4G. I think this is an industry first. This has a little over 8 hours of battery life, 6 hours of video, about 10 hours of web browsing on Wi-Fi. It's 11.6 inch display, 36 kilowatt hour battery. It really enables you to have a full transatlantic experience on one charge. And by the way, when you take the phone away, the phone is charged because that battery is charging the display. So this is a pretty exciting device, and I think it'll transform the way people use their smartphones, and the convergence of computing and mobility has now a new form. Not just a tablet. Tablet is one excellent form, but this is another new form. So earlier today, we announced the availability of Atrix 4G in the US with the AT&T.
Is it basically a micro HDMI or something like that?
Yeah, it's just micro HDMI and micro USB. That's it.
Just a normal micro HDMI.
The HDMI will have the audio and video that you saw.
Yeah.
And the USB is USB. Once you dock it, it goes into a USB host mode. Right? That's how you can dock. That's how you can connect USB keyboards, USB mouse, and USB mass storage devices.
Is it
external hard drives?
Can I use this setup to upload all my videos, HD videos to YouTube? Is it going to be just as fast as a normal laptop?
That depends on what laptop you're comparing it to. I mean, a normal laptop could be dual core 1.4 gigahertz.
An Atom, for example?
A what?
Like an Atom? Intel Atom? Something like an Intel Atom speed, or?
It really depends on your internet connection, right?
All right.
It's hard to do those kind of comparisons unless you baseline everything else.
How about the flash support video? Is there a resolution that you can support? Can you support 720p?
So we can play 720p, but it's not the best experience. We recommend 480p and lower. Full screen, that is.
All right. How about the desktop view? How high resolution is that desktop?
Right, so what we're showing around here is up to 720p, which is just 1280, 720p. The dock itself, the laptop dock, is 1366 by 768. But if you have a standard 4x3 screen, we'll go up to about 1280 by 1024.
1280
by 1024.
1024. So that's what you would output on the TV. You can have a desktop like that, right?
Yes.
That's cool. That's pretty
There's
awesome.
no additional processing in the dock. The dock is truly a dock.
Dock is truly a dock.
Resolution, visual mode support to any external display is going to still be a function of
That's correct. In fact, if you take this apart, which I've done, this HDMI is straight through to this, right? But the majority of the circuitry is actually for the USB hub that's built in there, right? For the mass storage devices, keyboards, mice, and other things. So digital cameras, external hard drives, thumb drives, etc. Stick it in there, right? So, and I also forgot to mention printing. We also print.
Cloud printing.
Network printing. So we'll print to network printers, IP-based printers.
So you
mentioned that.
I should have mentioned that.
So
I think that was good.
totally targeting what's it called, enterprise. They should buy.
Not just enterprise, but I think consumers obviously need to print as well, right? But there are enterprise solutions. Another thing I didn't mention up there was that we have Citrix receiver built in, and he's been demoing it over there. But he's got a full Windows virtual machine running in there. You can see the performance; it's quite good.
So you can run Microsoft Word, everything you want
through the Citrix receiver, through a IT managed Citrix cluster.
So basically, you have the browser. What other kind of app do you think people might want to have? That's it? That's enough? Like in terms of desktop experience?
Well,
are you thinking about other apps?
We didn't want to create a whole new environment with a whole new set of apps. I don't think anybody wants to do that. Right? If you give everybody just a Linux environment, then it becomes too clustered, too messy to deal with. Right? So what's familiar to people? Mozilla is the second most popular browser. Right? Internet Explorer, then Mozilla Firefox. So we worked with Mozilla, obviously, and that's why it's still branded Mozilla Firefox. And are able to give the user a full Mozilla Firefox 3.6.13. We've been keeping up with all the updates experience.
Awesome.
So, and everything that comes with 3.6.13. So all the add-ons, all the theming, the skinning. I should have applied a skin before we started, but
How about the video codecs? Can you play 1080p, 60 frames per second, every codec, high profile?
You can check the Nvidia Tegra 2 specs to figure out what our capabilities are.
It's a different Nvidia Tegra 2 compared to the one that's used in bigger tablets, right?
That's different. That's different than our tablet. Our tablet uses a T2 and this uses an AP20H. But they're both part of the Tegra 2 family.
So how many tabs can you have open, and how many things can you run?
Well, we'll tell you when you start running out of memory. But that's one of the reasons you have a gigabyte of RAM. When you start opening a lot of windows, a lot of tabs, a lot of flash instances and whatnot, your memory will start running low. Obviously, the Android memory killer will do its thing and start closing Android apps, etc., in order to free up more memory. But at some point, we'll throw up a message to say you're running low on memory. You should close some tabs.
So are you using this one exclusively right now?
Yeah.
Like your computer? That's your computer right now.
It's my computer.
This is your computer. For how long have you been using this? Can you do programming on that, or do you do that, or
programming? Well, again, the Citrix receiver lets you do everything, right? Because once you log into a remote machine, remote virtual machine, you can do anything you want. Yeah, it's preloaded. I forgot to mention it up there. It's preloaded with Citrix receiver. So you, for enterprise, you can just click on a link, go to your Citrix machine. He's demoing it over there, and you throw up a whole Windows 7 or Windows 6 and do anything you want from there. And it's quite fast. It's quite a usable experience.
On the smart accessories, how do you see that as being an opportunity for carrier partners? You want to sell through Motorola businesses? Any thoughts about how those will actually go to market?
I'm probably not the right person to ask that.
Okay. So in terms of functionality, that's really your focus.
So you can see, I can access all of my Android applications.
So whether you see it being,
Functionality
so you see it being, so you see the smart accessories, the initial sets, HDMI, HD dock, and the Webtop. Trying to remember your terminology. as
Of course, you can use a headset. As you can see, you now have tabs, which is something that you don't normally see in Android.
Right, and this
So
is
I
the first
can
product that I have.
Switch between.
This isn't something we're going to do and then stop doing.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of excitement over it. We think it solves a real user need and a real enterprise need. So this isn't the end of the road.
Right. I'll leave my card.
What does the Google people think about this?
I can't comment on that.
But you showed it to them.
I did not personally show it to them, so that's why I can't comment on it.
All right. Do you personally think it's going to replace Windows and Intel?
I shouldn't comment on that either.
Just sorry.
So that's coming from the phone, right?
Yeah.
And he's running Windows 7 on a remote server.
So it's running Windows 7 on this phone, on a TV, on a large screen, HD screen.
It's running Windows 7 on a remote Citrix server.
Yeah.
Right, because we built in Citrix receiver, so you can run a remote Windows box through Citrix on using a full mouse and keyboard. And you'll notice the performance is quite good. This is what I was telling you earlier in the first video.
Is it going to rebuffer? Okay.
It's fine.
It's fine, totally fine. Full screen. How high resolution in the YouTube will work fine? 720,
I told you in the last video.
Yeah.
360p and 480p. Go to 720p, you'll probably drop a few frames.
Can that be optimized?
He's taking videos, so I wouldn't.
Okay. Can the YouTube be optimized?
We don't talk about that.
That's Adobe would need to, like in terms of supporting 720p YouTube, it would be an Adobe thing. Okay. But so you use this as your main computer, and what do you do with it?
Well, everything I do during the day. So my email, all the most of the stuff at Motorola, our directory, all the things that we do when we're communicating with each other, working with each other, is all done over the web. Pretty
You use
much.
Gmail or?
Yeah, we use Gmail. So Motorola has switched entirely to Google Apps. That's public information.
Yeah.
So I'm able to do a significant amount of our work on the web. For anything that I absolutely cannot do on the web simply because the application is not available on the web or there's just nothing there yet, then I will log into my enterprise Citrix machine.
And you totally use that?
Yes.
Citrix?
Yeah. So as
You do all that stuff?
As you can see from this video,
Yeah.
the Citrix performance is quite good. I mean, it's very, very usable. And with the mouse and keyboard, it's as if you're sitting at your Windows 7 desktop.
So
Or any
Citrix
other.
is a huge in virtualization, but it's quite enterprise-centric.
Right.
Will there be some features more like consumer-centric in that
So
area?
for consumers, if you've noticed on, there are like VNC type solutions that are completely web-based in order to log into a remote PC or any of those other things that I was referring to. So from an enterprise perspective, we have dedicated Citrix machines, but for consumers, they can use open HTML5 based.
Because if you want to have full Word, for example, full Microsoft Office Word, you need licenses. So it's kind of like there's no like subscription model to get access to all these x86 apps virtualized. I'm just saying.
Well,
Yeah.
when you're virtualizing a machine, you still have to pay for any of the software that's on the machine, right? Including the operating system itself.
Right.
Right, but that's if you're not able to do all of your work on the web, right? This solution is to fill the gap for users that spend most of their time on the web, right? Like we do. So at Motorola, since a lot of our applications are already ported over to the web, we can do most of our jobs completely on the web.
How about your team? Everybody that works on your team, they can all use just that? You're dog fooding? You're doing that? Everybody's doing that?
Everybody is using these things in order to make sure that, I mean, just from testing. Of course, we're dog fooding to make sure that what we put out into the public is...
Programmers would use that as well?
We're not using it as our main enterprise computing at Motorola.
We're not trying to say this will replace your desktop computer for people who do things like CAD or really high processing intensive things. That's not what this is for. This is focused on consumers who have a need to, who most of the time on their desktop or laptop computers will be surfing the web or doing things like Facebook or email, Yahoo, etc. All those other things I had stated before. That's what this is trying to solve.
So could you show? You have a keyboard as well and mouse on the device?
Sure.
So you don't even need to connect a USB keyboard mouse, huh?
So here's nothing connected except HDMI and power. Okay. And from the front of the phone, you have you can control the mouse cursor. You'll notice it's highly responsive. You can see both here, and it supports 2-finger scrolling both on the horizontal plane and the vertical plane. I can shrink this window.
Could you go up and search for Motorola Atrix here in YouTube?
Sure. So if you notice, it shows you the text here, so you don't have to keep looking up to see if you're typing the right thing. Oops.
It can correct itself.
I double tapped on the A there, but there
You
you
can
go.
play a video there.
Yeah. So we'll play the teaser once that comes back.
There's an official video.
Yeah, this is the official video. There you go.
So notice in that teaser, that guy, the business guy there, he's basically replacing his laptop with a...
I don't think that's what we're saying. We're saying that it has the power to drive a laptop dock, not that it's replacing his laptop.
Okay.
We're not in the business of making laptops.
That it's, it's the future of mobile computing, because there are capabilities on the phone itself along with the dock that make it as useful as a laptop is for that. So for some segment of users, it could replace a laptop, but not all users.
So how many tabs do you have open when you use a browser? You don't mind having lots and lots of tabs? Is it gonna stay?
Again, it depends on what the tabs are doing, right? Right. Just like any machine, any computer, if you have a lot of things going on, it starts to impact what you're doing, right? But like for instance, if I want to just open a whole bunch of empty windows and empty tabs, I could do this all day and it wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So it's.
Is that a feature of Firefox or a feature that the ARM version of Firefox that is...
what is the feature? Can you be more specific?
Optimizing the resources, like not using too much RAM and how do you manage all that, the memory bandwidth and all these things?
So I told you I'm not going to talk about the architecture.
Okay. So these things, basically you have Firefox, that's it. It's Firefox.
We have Firefox, we have Google, Android, right? So you can run all your Android apps.
What do you do up here?
These are the notifications. You'll notice the same notifications that are on the phone that you would do a pull down.
Yeah.
It's also on your desktop. So in case you get a notification that while your Android window is minimized, if you want to say, okay, I got some email, you double click on it and it'll pull it up and pull up the email. It's equivalent to pulling this down and then clicking on it. So we just make it easier for you. And as I showed you before, it's
what do you do down
tabbed
there?
interface.
What is this? This area.
Okay, so this is the mobile view, right, which is your phone. This is how you get to the dialer. It's already in the dialer, so it didn't do anything. This is how you get to your contacts. Scroll wheel is mapped. This takes you to messaging. Another thing I can show you that you may not have seen yet. Let me show you some things. I can right click. So right click gives the context sensitive menu, and then I can scroll here. Another thing that we've done is let me grab some text here. We've also added text.
Copy and paste. Really?
Copy and paste. So I can copy here, go over here, go to messaging, go to text messaging.
This is snappy.
Grab this and right click and paste. There it is.
This is full what do you call it? Productivity.
Yes.
You're totally there. And what are these
And here's
shortcuts?
printing, right? So we've got printers. So
What is the
this takes-
printers? How do you work them? Make them work?
Network printers. So we'll do IP-based network printers that are Postgre compatible.
There will be maybe some cloud print things coming on, but that's Android based in the future, right? Android has already maybe. Yeah, some things going on.
So here's the printers. This is printer setup for Webtop. Okay. So we handle network printers. You can do search or just type in the IP address or domain or the name.
And these are Android tray icons normally?
This takes you into the entertainment center.
Yeah.
This is the file manager. That was another thing I didn't show at the press conference. So when you plug in mass storage devices, digital cameras that show up as mass storage devices, thumb drives, external hard drives, whatever, it'll show up here. If you have one, I can plug it in. It'll show up here. You can go and copy, drag and drop files, etc. Or you want to double click on a file. So like if you have images, double click on it, it'll open up in a browser. Or if you want to watch a video, so we'll watch Timescapes. That's the one we keep demoing, right? So double click on, you get it full, you get it in.
Do you support NTFS hard drives?
Do we support NTFS hard drives? If it shows up as a mass storage device, we should support it.
I can't claim that we support all drives because we haven't tested it with all drives. But again, we support the mass storage device profile for USB.
And you support all the codecs that the processor does. Everything that is in there.
I don't know.
Do you have a question about a codec?
It'd be nice to know eventually, maybe at the next clip of the video, what the bit rates, the maximum bit rates resolution.
We don't. The maximum resolution, and we're saying that it's high definition, but we're not going to publish the bit rate.
Okay. And you have some. These are shortcuts that can be customized or not really?
Yeah. So I can delete these.
Nice.
So
That's cool.